These days, people see almost 10,000 ads every single day. And so people are over-marketed to, they're inundated with information, and they feel like they've heard it all before. And so because of that, people are inherently skeptical. Pre-sale funnels and pre-sale copy, it works by acting as sort of a middleman between that initial touch point where you first interact with a customer and your sales page, or the final point where you ask for a sale. So what they do is they lead the reader down the buyer's awareness scale, kind of moving them just step by step closer towards making a purchase decision. And it's kind of like a relationship. Is when you go on a first date, you don't go home and then immediately text that person and ask them to marry you. You go on a few dates, you get to know each other over months, years, you learn what they're interested in, you learn what you have in common, and you build that trust, that familiarity, and that relationship evolves naturally. So pre-sale copy works the same way. It gets the person to know you and allows you to get to know them and use the words and the language that they use, connect with their pain points, connect with their deep desires, fears, and really develop that relationship before you propose or ask for the sale. The way that I got into this was I used to have an SEO agency, and my business has gone through a couple different evolutions, but I started with content, moved into SEO, and that involved into an SEO content agency. And so I worked with a lot of affiliate marketers and a lot of SEO guys, and these guys are just deep into the analytics. They're looking at keywords, they're looking at statistics, they're looking at trends and graph charts, and they forget when they're buried in all those numbers that they're talking to real people. And so I also had a couple of affiliate sites, and I noticed when I talking to friends and clients that my sites always converted the best. And so I started working with friends and trying to figure out how we could improve their conversions. And what I found was that they were just using the wrong messaging. They were using the wrong words. And so I helped a lot of my friends who had these affiliate sites increase their conversions double, triple. We increased one guy's click-through rate's like 162%. And it was just because we were focusing on meeting the reader where they were at in the buyer's awareness cycle at the moment that they landed on the page, rather than just putting up a one-size-fits-all sales message. I was working with a lot of writers that were new to copywriting or new to content marketing, and I wanted to deliver a result that was on par with what I would deliver if I was doing the work myself. So I developed a system that would help guide these newer writers through the copywriting process so that they could create this copy that was friendly for cold traffic, but on a faster scale because we needed to put out a lot of volume for the agency. So during that, we wrote for dozens of niches. And so we had a lot to test, and we had a lot of different markets that we're working with. And through that, we had just had so much material, and we learned quite quickly because we were putting out such high volume across so many different niches or markets. I think the hardest thing for copywriters, especially, but marketers in general, when they're creating pre-sale copy, is that it's hard for them to get their heads around that it's not a sales page. So you want to leave the heavy lifting to your sales page in terms of sales messaging. And the pre-sale copy is just to build familiarity and trust and warm up that cold traffic before you present your sales message. So I think the hardest part for a lot of writers is not promoting the offer, not writing that sales copy, and instead just focusing on providing value and moving the reader a little bit further down that buyer's awareness scale so that they're moving closer towards a decision-making, a purchase decision-making process. So what we do in the 101 course is we learn to write advertorials, activation pages, driver pages from scratch. So we walk through it step by step, but we also dive deeper into the psychology and the buyer psychology behind pre-sale copy. So while you're learning the exact steps that I used at my copywriting agency to teach newer writers how to develop this high-performance pre-sale copy, you're also learning the reason behind it. So that way you can take it and apply this knowledge and this process to any niche, to any market, and you can speak the language if you're working with clients or working with business partners so that you can explain what's going on, you can analyze what's happening, and then you can continue to improve those pre-sale funnels. So if you want to get started, all you have to do is follow the instructions on this page, and I'll see you there.